high-tech lap counter for your next RC car race. And the best new file-sharing network just for you. Plus, the screensavers are throwing down the gauntlet in today's LAN party. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers. Woo! Screensavers, I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Sarah Lane. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the show that asks, have you hugged a geek today?
Have you hugged a geek? Give everybody a hug. Give
everybody at home?
Everybody at home. Give them a hug.
This is kind of awkward.
Come on, give them a nice big hug and kiss. There we go. There we go. Isn't that nice? This is not fun. Patrick Norton, by the way. No type of. It's San Francisco,
I know you're a little
but
confused at first, but this is actually, I'm a little shorter.
Right.
I'm usually sitting in a stool.
You're a lot more attractive. Very true.
No, not with a kilt. Patrick beats me with a kilt any day.
Yes, he does.
It's true.
That's somehow true.
It's funny. It's usually I'm in a stool and I appear actually larger sitting.
You're actually 4'8", right? 4'8"?
3'8".
3'8". That's it. Tonight we have a great show.
Definitely short. We
are going to race RC cars in the studio.
Yeah.
And we're going to build a lap counter. It's actually it's like a motherboard that counts as crazy. Plus, Sarah's Download Today is probably my favorite free file sharing application. I love it. Everyone's going to want to have it.
And I'm going to have to give props to you and Roger right off the bat for helping me find this little goodie. You guys will find out about it later in the show.
And also, Dan is here. He's going to help us into how you can sell your Wi-Fi. If you ever want to create your own hotspot, we're going to do that as well today. Packed show today.
Yeah, if you're going to let people use it, why not pay? Why not charge? Anyway.
A little extra bling. Now we have Yoshi, king of the bling.
Yeah, I'm just working on a future segment here. I got a little bored with those little, 1 terabyte servers. So
what are you doing now?
Well, you're going to have to find out, but it's definitely a lot more than one.
How many hard drives is that inside that unit? It's like 10 hard drives.
The one on the bottom, it's 15 on the bottom. There's 6 in the system. But
jeez.
Check that out.
That's
nice.
1 or 2.
That is nuts. Also, we want to, thanks, Yosh. That's going to be a cool segment.
I can't wait. Yoshi's always got, how does he come up with it?
I don't know.
How does he do it?
The message boards.
He's Big Y.
The Big Y.
We also want your tough tech questions. You can, of course, call us at 888-989-7879 or email the screensavers at techtv.com. Don't you love this? It's like short person.
The stool actually makes you taller. That's amazing.
Who knew?
Today is Thursday. That means it's time for the Screensavers LAN party.
Powered by NVIDIA.
Today we're playing NovaLogic's Joint Ops Typhoon Rising. Last week we had 100 player games. Today we're going to do 150 players per game. It's possible. They do all the hosting and it's awesome.
Wow.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Joining us today, the man himself, producer of Joint Ops, Joel Tauble. Later in the show, I'm going to talk to him about what it takes to get started in the game industry. In seat number 2, moving down the line, Oasis fanboy, of course, Dan, Rocky Horror Picture Foo keyword. Where do they come up with?
Where do they get these names?
I don't know. In seat number 3 and 4, we've got our audience playing. Hello, lucky audience members. Hope you kick some booty. Stop. Hope you kick some
G-rated
stuff
show.
So good luck to everybody, and we'll check in with you a little later. Of course, our high scores today are going to receive a full copy of the game and a hoodie or a bag. They're very cool.
What's a bag? Is it just
plastic? It's like, no, it's, what's it when you
duffel
can't,
bag?
it's a camouflage.
Camouflage.
Like a camouflage, kind of like a bike messenger bag.
Nice.
We gave some out last week. They're very cool.
Very cool.
So,
let's
I
start
think
with the tech
time
news.
for some news, yeah?
You're right here. Normally we'd be like, hey.
We're both like, where do we go? I'm right here. Anyway, first story. Russian officials have caught a teenager who sent an obscene text message to 15,000 cell phone users. He's the first person in Russia to be convicted of spamming. The unnamed college student used a special program to hack into one of Russia's biggest mobile phone operators. He was fined $103 and was given a 1-year suspended sentence.
$103? That's all spammers need to move to Russia. That's what they need to do. I mean,
maybe $103 is a lot more rubles.
It could be. I don't know. In some countries, they chop your finger off for stuff like that.
Yeah, because you might try to get away with more stuff if you're like $100, not a problem.
Oh, Russia
give
has
it a
all
go.
the cool stuff. Those great MP3 sites where you get all the.
Russia seems like the tech place to be. It's the next Silicon Valley.
You know, I don't really want obscene text messages on my phone, but I kind of would have liked to see the faces of some of these people. What is it? Who sent this?
SMS spam. I've seen some of it. I've gotten actually one or two.
I've gotten
Prager
some of
had
that,
one
too.
a while back, and a little SMS spam.
I always get mine in Spanish.
Yeah, that's funny. I got mine in Spanish too.
I don't, you know.
I don't
at
understand
least it hasn't caught on too much because I was really irritated that day. And
we can get charged for receiving those, which sucks.
And that's why it is, I believe, illegal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you know, I'm not paying for that. I'm sorry, I just have to say, the LAN party sign just fell.
On our audience.
Very traumatic. Are you guys all right?
It's actually...
Everybody's fine, yeah.
Okay.
It usually says LAN party. Yeah.
Can we kill the Nova Logic guy?
Because I got to talk to him later. If not, we're going to need an alternate. Okay, everything's fine.
That's going to be the reason for losing now. Oh, sign fell on us. So they always have a reason.
Neck hurts. Neck hurts.
Next story.
Next story. AOL users may be getting a little more spam than they bargained for. 24-year-old AOL programmer for AOL, was arrested and charged with selling 92 million AOL email addresses to a 21-year-old internet gambling entrepreneur. The addresses were allegedly sold for $100,000 and then resold to other spammers. Nobody likes to hear a story like this. And he was working for AOL.
Well, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. I mean, if he's a programmer,
but
I'm
it's
sure...
just that's pretty bold.
They must have these huge databases with all their member names, and I guess he probably just did a dump, burned it to like a couple DVDs or whatever it may take.
I mean, $100,000 looks pretty good, I guess, if you think he can get away with it.
You would think they would pay their programmers decent, though. I mean, do they really need to... I don't know.
I think even if you're paid decently, $100,000 sounds pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Not that that's a reason for doing such a thing, but yeah, 92 million.
Yeah,
92 million.
Well, the sad thing about this story, though, is that if you're an AOL member, your name is somewhere out there now. It's been traded by spammers, and if you're starting to see more spam coming in, yeah, that could be the reason. So
could be reason. Blame him.
Yes.
I think he'll be getting.
Oh, he's going to get a little more than a $100 fine.
Yeah, a little bit more than $103.
$103.
Should we take a phone call?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Lewis joins us on the phone from Houston, Texas. Hi, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
What's up?
Fine.
Peace.
How you doing?
Fine.
How's Texas, Lewis?
Meds kicking in?
Rain now.
It's rainy?
Raining?
Yeah.
Cool.
Now we know.
Is there anything we can help you out with?
What do you got a question? What do you got a question for us?
What's a good downloading service?
Okay, so
Good downloading service. We assume you want a legal downloading service,
or
right?
do you want a legal one? I mean, I can go
Legal.
either
Yeah,
way.
legal, illegal. Legal, illegal. Take your pick.
Legal.
Okay, that's the smart
Good
choice.
answer.
Yes. Can we get a round of applause for him? Yes, Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis. Woo. Well, there's 50 billion. You know, iTunes is obviously the most obvious. That's the one that a lot of people use. You and I use it.
Right.
Set up really nice. But there's a lot of other ones. There's music, buy music at buy.com. That's sort of their...
So buy.com.
Buy.com. There's, of course, iTunes. We just pulled up a bunch here. Music Match has a nice download music service. Walmart, of course, the 88 cents a song.
This is what I don't get, though. I'm still arguing this point. Who is going to buy their music from Walmart online?
Well, I think...
You can't be a cool kid in class like, I just got my music from Walmart, you know?
Well, I think a lot of people do a lot of shopping at Walmart,
Yeah,
especially if Walmart's the only store in town, and you know, you kind of, brand identification. You think, Walmart. You know, I like.
Do they do what? Do they edit their songs? I don't know if they edit their songs because there was a big thing about they wouldn't allow certain CDs to come in.
I don't think they're big fans of Eminem.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of a controversy.
We'll have to get on their music store. You can search by artist. Type an Eminem there and see if they come up. 'Cause I know for a while they were blocking a lot of the CDs.
Well, I'm sure they sell it, but they might not let you
Edited.
hear.
Look at that. Edited. Both of them. Paul
check it
Brock,
out.
Our executive producer, was right.
Interesting.
They do edit their...
point. See, now I think
Round of applause for Paul.
Thank you, executive producer.
That's why they charge less. They give you less music.
Yes, less music.
That's where those, 9 cents went.
So
the swear words.
Walmart, Rhapsody.
And Rhapsody is it's a little bit different. You sign up for Rhapsody, you pay them, and then they give you access to a bunch of really big name. And then, Coca-Cola Music, it's kind of funny. It's supposed to be a good download site, right? And you go in to CokeMusic.com, and it doesn't do anything. I don't understand what's going on with the site. If anyone can tell me why
A little too much Coke for the programmers or something.
Coke Music doesn't work, I'm not going to buy any songs until it works.
So
Lewis,
Lewis,
hopefully
let's
we give
recap.
you... Okay.
Give them the choices again.
Buy.com.
Buy.com. Buymusic.com, actually, is what I go to.
iTunes.com.
Mm-hmm.
Musicmatch.com.
Uh-huh.
Walmart.com.
Uh-huh.
And Listen.com.
Listen.com, which is a division of Real Player. So
exactly.
We don't really like Real Player, but it's worth checking out.
We're not into it, but it's a different way to buy your songs if that's what you're into. You
the leasing, the renting of the music is an interesting concept because you play a flat rate and you get access to all those different types of music.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, really, of that.
I don't know about that yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah. I guess it's sort of the Netflix of online music. Huh?
There's that Russian site that we demoed on the show here a while back.
All of MP3.
You may want to check that out. I'm not sure if it's legal. Can't tell you one way or the other. I've read both sides of it, whether it is.
I'm it's not.
I mean, it's like 4 cents for an album, which is pretty cheap.
Seems fair, but I don't know. I think some people would disagree with
It's worth checking out. I haven't done it. I know the RIA is just waiting to nail me, like sign up for one of those lists.
Will
I know
you
it's
please try to keep yourself out of trouble?
I am.
You have
I'm a good boy.
shows to do. You have people who depend on you. Thanks for the call, Lewis.
Thanks, Lewis.
We're just getting started in this show. The LAN party's heating up if they can keep their heads. We'll check on the action a little bit later. But up next, I'm not going to show you how, but we're going to show you how to build a low-cost lap counter for your next RC car race. It's so awesome when the screensavers continue.
Our next guest has been on the Screensavers to show us how to use your PDA to play ping pong, like the real ping pong, Planet Surf, or even control your own train set. Today he's here to show us his Palm-enabled lap counter for RC cars. It counts your lap. Welcome Senior Design Engineer for Zilog, Steve Pope. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Kevin.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You've got some fans out there. People are loving what you're doing.
All right.
So
Great.
We've got some, these are not the cars that I used to play with. These aren't your Radio Shack cars. These are some decked out cars. Tell me, what's changed in the world of RC?
You know, there's a lot of choices you have to make now in this hobby. Decide what size, if you want on-road, off-road, electric, gas. So a lot of options and a lot of aftermarket products are now available. And we're seeing a lot of technology finding its way into this hobby, which is really making it exciting.
Very cool. Show me some of it.
Yeah, so what we have here, this is one of the newest cars. This is a 10th scale HPI Nitro car, and it has a lot of added features on it. There's a recording module here that I've added that would accumulate race data, so you can see the shift point. This particular car has a 2-speed automatic transmission. You can also adjust the air-fuel mixture is all part of that.
You actually hooked this up to your computer here, right?
This version is a direct connection to a PC, but I'm working on a Palm-enabled version so that instead of hauling that big PC out to the field, we'll be able to extract that data from your Palm.
Very cool. What else does it have?
So the other thing it has in this, this is a 4-wheel drive system. There's a belt system that is employed here. There's a temp sensor that's measuring the cylinder temperature. There's also a boost bottle on this one that helps increase the pressure in the cylinder. These cars have a lot of adjustments, and that's why you want all this technology is to help the racer fine-tune the parameters.
Interesting. So what about this chip in the back here? What does this do?
Okay, so what's coming online now is lap counter technology for this hobby, and one of the things I'm working on is an IRDA version. And so this little board here is a Zilog microcontroller, and the ERDA transceiver. With the Palm device, I can program the car's ID in this module, and then that will respond itself to the actual gate and tell the gate what car is passing under the system.
Okay, so there's no hooking up to a PC whatsoever. You just walk over with your Palm during the race, no carrying around a laptop or anything like that.
That's right.
Very cool.
So a lot of technology coming into this hobby.
So what else are we seeing here? You have some miniature cars here. These are smaller battery-powered cars?
Yeah, we have, this is probably the latest thing that's come on in this industry. These are 18th scale, all electric. This one here is very tricked out. It's all aluminum. You can buy this in a kit form and then buy the aftermarket parts. You got the motor control, very high-end batteries now, so we need very sophisticated battery technology to make these run at the speeds that we're looking for, and also the chargers need to be at a different scale now.
Has the battery life gotten any better? Back when I was doing this, it was like, 5-10 minutes max.
The batteries continue to improve. We're seeing batteries up to 3.6 amp hours, so we've come from about 2 amp hours up to 3.6, so a big leap in capacity.
Are they just putting in faster engines, though, that suck up the batteries the same amount of time? Or?
We're seeing some of that, so there's definitely that trade-off. Always want more speed, right? More speed is what we're after.
So you also have some other things here. Now, this is a show car, right?
Right.
So you got to be kidding me. This is never actually raced?
Yeah, this is the other part of the industry is just building show cars, and this one's all aluminum, anodized.
Wow. Look at that thing.
It has the old pull start technique that people have used in the past. But, yeah, there's a lot of the show car piece of it that's happening.
So I was going to ask you about this old pull start technique. One of the big problems that I had, the reason I never went to gas cars, is it was so hard to start them up. Has that changed nowadays? Or do we have anything that makes that easier?
So we actually, there's a couple pieces have come online there. Electronic starters. In fact, this T-Max here has a plug-in here. You plug in this battery and you simply just push the button and it kicks over the motor
That's a lot easier.
So auto starting. I'm sure we're going to see some automation done in that area as well.
And also, you were saying something about miniature cameras they're actually putting inside these.
Right, yeah. So one of the other projects I'm working on is a camera system that will mount on the car and be more like the NASCAR races where you can actually see inside the driver's view, if you will.
So if you have, like, let's say there's an audience of 50, 75 people, they could open up their laptops and watch inside the vehicles, the cars?
Right. That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so a lot of neat technology coming online for that. A lot yet to come.
So what are you going to show us after the break? We're actually going to come back. And you're going to show us about how this chip works, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the lap counter system. I've actually built the lap counter, and we've put together a website, geekfreaks.com, that has all the information on how to build the system using the Zilog microcontrollers. And we're going to talk about a laser system, an IRDA system, and the RFID systems.
Very cool. Well, stay tuned, because after the break, we're definitely going to set that laser counter, and we're going to race around the track. We're actually going to create a loop, race around, try not to kill anybody. That's all when the Screensavers continues. We're back with Steve Pope, Senior Design Engineer at Zilog. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you.
So we have a core set up here. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. This looks like a motherboard that you've mounted up here.
Okay.
How does this work? Explain to me what's going on.
Okay, well, this is a prototype for two basic lap counter technologies, a laser lap counter and an IRDA system. It's kind of a hybrid.
Okay.
And this top piece here is a Zilog micro web server that you could use to actually broadcast on the internet the lap information and speeds of the racers.
It actually has a 10100 little port right here.
That's right. That's the Ethernet port. And so what people are doing is hooking up their Wi-Fi computers to that, or the Wi-Fi access points, and putting that right online wirelessly.
Oh, nice.
This also provides a nice big display so you can see the the lap results. And I've also got some high drive outputs so you can get some nice gate start enunciation with that.
Very cool. Now, what about this little device right here?
Yeah, so this is really looking at two pieces of the puzzle here, if you will. The lasers, there's two lasers mounted in these tubes, and this system was put together with hardware from my local hardware store, aluminum rails, and that's one of the key things for the laser system is making it rigid, because the hardest part of a laser system is the alignment.
Okay.
The lasers actually have to shoot across and into these little holes here that I've mounted.
What's in the holes?
Yeah, there's photo detectors, and the first problem you'll have is that the people will mount the photo detectors on the outside of the rails, and that's a mistake because as soon as you go out into the bright light, the bright light will disturb that. What I've done is I've mounted on the inside and just put holes in there.
Gotcha.
And it's bulletproof for the outside lighting environment.
Okay.
Then the other thing that I was thinking of is how do I make this alignment so that I kind of have fun with it? So I've come up with on this Zilog board here, I've got an MP3 playback module, so I'm actually going to have sound come out as I'm doing the laser alignment part of this demonstration.
And you're going to do this all with your little Palm handheld, right?
Yeah, the other thing that Zilog brings to the party that I think needs to be really looked at more is the IRDA port. So on all of our boards, we have a little IRDA transceiver, and with the Palm, I've built an application called called Raceway. And this application and all the source code is on the geekfreaks.com website. You can get to that from the Zilog.com. And let me just demonstrate. I'll bring in the laser alignment. So I'm going to beam in the command.
Laser alignment.
The system tells you it's going to do the laser alignment. It turns on one laser at a time, and if I interrupt it, I get a little Homer Simpson, right? Until it finally sees that that's settled, then I get the woohoo, right?
So that's a little MP3 that you plugged in there.
Little MP3 clip, and you can put anything you want. Okay, it's totally. So both lasers are now calibrated. I could have done some adjustments on that, but I didn't need to in this case.
So explain why we have two lasers at two different heights.
Yeah. So for this system, there's two cars. We can have two races basically running, and you put these little trip points or little flags at different heights. That's basically the same height as the lasers themselves. And if you want to add more lanes, basically you'd add more lasers. Now, the tricky part of it is that obviously this one here is going to trigger both of them. So you have to have some pretty sophisticated algorithms that will watch that trigger when it cuts both lasers. So you've got to be able to filter that out.
See.
And that's why I have a local Zilog microprocessor here looking at that laser and trying to filter that. The other techniques that are used that I mentioned earlier are the IRDA, which is a little more forgiving in that matter because...
Well, infrared. Now, you have those mounted underneath here, right?
Yeah, underneath the rail, there's a number of IRDA transceivers. These are the Zilog, again, that same board you saw earlier on the car.
Okay.
That's the FO8 Zilog Encore part. And there's little IRDA transceivers that are here. And as the car passes that has those transceivers in it, it's going to broadcast its car number. And the car number then is looked at by this particular board and then sent up wirelessly. There's a wireless link. There's a little MaxStream radio on the back of both of these boards, and then they can broadcast it out on the internet.
So real quick, total cost on this?
Yeah, total cost roughly for everything you see here is just under $500. The Zilog development kits are pretty low cost. You can purchase this for $39.95. This development board here is our accessory kit. We sell it for $149. So this package here is about $200.
Okay.
If you don't want to add this, certainly that would cut the cost. The mechanical system is about $50 for the local
so it's not
hardware
too bad.
stuff. Not bad at all.
If you're really into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's race these. Let's give them a try.
Yeah. So what I would do is I can also select driving music. I can put the drivers' names in the car. So what I'm going to do is I'll select myself and Kevin as the racer.
Okay.
So on the palm I've got the name, so I'll beam that in, and you'll see that it puts up Kevin in lane 1.
Very cool.
Lane 1 is basically an arbitrary flag position. So there's both cars are put in the system. Now I'm going to say start the race.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
You got an MP3 playback.
Very cool.
Okay. Now it's looking for us to stage the cars.
Okay. So we go over here and get our controllers.
We'll get our controllers, and let me.
Now, if I beat you, can I keep this whole system?
Okay. So let me pull up to the gate, and okay. Now I'm basically ready to go. You could pull up. Okay. Now it should tell us. It should announce to us. And we got, I think, 3 laps on the clock. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm already ready.
Come on.
All right. I haven't had practice.
Come on. There we go. Did I win?
Final lap.
Final lap.
Oh, don't cheat.
Boom! Yes!
Crap. All right, Kevin.
This is all mine now.
All right. Great. Not used to this car. I'm not used to this car. Okay.
Yeah. It's your car.
All right.
So if people want to buy this, Zilog.com, is that where they go to?
Zilog.com will get you to the development kits, and then GeekFreaks.com is the website that will give you all the source code and detailed information on how to put this together.
Very cool. Thanks, Steve, for being on the show.
All right, great. Thank you.
If you're into the RC cars and you want to learn how to make your own lap counter just like this, Steve, you put together a great article at GeekFreaks.com. Now, don't go anywhere. You're going to share files across 4 P2P networks using just one application. That's Sarah's download of the day. And after the break, we're going to check in with the gamers over at the LAN party to see who's kicking some butt. It's all when the Screensavers continues. Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose. Coming up in this half hour, learn how you can make some fast cash by selling your Wi-Fi. And Kyle's on the line wanting to know how he can select his boot drive within Linux. We're going to fill him in on all the details. But now, today is Thursday, and that means it's time to check in with our LAN party. Sarah is over there right now.
I'm here. I am in the mix. Today we're playing NovaLogic's Joint Ops Typhoon Rising. Now, last week we had 100-player games. Today we're doing 150-player games. So joining us today, producer of Joint Ops, Joel Tauble. That is quite a bit of players, Joel.
Yes.
You must have some hefty servers to handle the load.
Yeah, definitely. We invested a lot in the back end for this game, and we feel
big
that
maps.
Yes, extremely big maps. We have maps that range upwards of 500. I'm sorry, not 500. 50 square kilometers.
500 would really be
slight
big.
bit of a difference.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of map designing tools that games have. What are, I'm kind of trying to go from a real newbie perspective, how would you gain some experience? For someone who's looking to get into this, we ask people this a lot. And
into the game industry?
Yeah.
Probably your best bet is to start either in QA or tech support.
Okay.
Both of these fields kind of sort of are looked at as sort of like farms. for people being brought up in the game industry. So I started out in QA. Several others have started out in QA and have risen through the ranks.
And now I hear a lot about game design and I hear about level design. What are the main differences between those two?
Level design and game design are two completely different aspects, but they certainly share some points that are similar. Level design mainly is sort of more artistic. The games that use certain games use big level meshes, sort of like Maya. So there's a lot of art involved, and you have to have a really heavy art background. And game design is sort of more like the guys that kind of sit down in think tanks with a pad and pen and kind of go out and say, well, what's cool, what's fun to play.
So it's a little more theory versus getting your hands dirty type of a thing.
Correct.
You had actually sort of an interesting sandbox analogy you were telling me before the show.
There's some level editors that are sort of like sandbox editors, like Battlefield 1942, and of course what we're doing, we have sort of like a train, and you place assets down, and depending on how you place those assets, you can create different maps. Like the map that we're currently playing, it was all done with a third-party utility that we made.
Cool. So let's just say I'm fresh out of college. I really want to get a job. In reality, what kind of job can I be expected to get? Do I have to start as an intern? Because I know, in broadcast, interning is pretty much the way to go.
Sometimes yes. Majority of the time, no. A lot of people who gain a lot of experience in QA, and it's mainly being knowing what's out there, playing what's out there, and if you have a genre that you really like, if you like RTSs, if you like first-person shooters, it's going out and playing everything that you possibly can, and knowing what sells, knowing what's fun, and being creative and coming up with your own ideas.
So just be part of the industry, you should do fine, I guess. Well, it's good. I mean, if you don't have to be an intern, you might get lucky right off the bat. Good luck in the game. I'll let you get back to it. Of course, in seat number 2, the #1 Oasis fanboy, Dan.
That's
Rocky
me.
Horror Picture Fu Heward. You ever been to one of those shows?
No,
Rocky
I've
Horror
never
Picture
been.
Fu shows?
No.
No?
Definitely not.
Dress up.
Those are some
Go
great
lipstick.
tips, by the way. I went to school for computer science. I was working on my master's degree. Those are great tips for getting in the game industry.
You heard it here. Fu. And as always, our studio audience fragging away. 2 guys looking good, feeling strong.
Trying to.
They're like, don't talk to us. We're trying to win. Good luck to all of you. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, if you want to come see the Screensavers live in San Francisco, you've only got a few weeks left. We're out of here on July 16th and make our way down to LA. But here's what you do. I'm going to show you right now. Go to techtv.com/thescreensavers. Here's the webpage. You scroll on down to the show notes link, which is right around here somewhere. Okay. I can't find it on the new website. It's here.
Logo, just click
It's
on
a screen.
that itself.
I don't know what I'm doing. This whole web thing. It's there. There's a button that says come see the show in person and follow the instructions. They will be there. That's how you do it. Stay where you are. Sarah's free download a day. Was going to leave you sharing a ton of files, has a built-in media player, and it's spyware-free and open source. But up next, Dan's making some cash selling his Wi-Fi. Find out how you can start doing the same thing when the Screensavers continues. Everybody loves to make a little extra money, and most of us geeks have high-speed internet access. So why not sell your Wi-Fi and make a little extra bling? Or cash.
Sounds good to me.
That's right. Well, Dan the Scam Heward has been doing just that. Dan, welcome to your your second segment on the show. Round of applause for Dan. Second segment. Today you're going to show us how we can make some cash. A lot of people want to do this.
Yeah, let's make some cash for sure.
What services are out there? What have you seen?
There's quite a bit of services. The service that I'm going to demonstrate is Boingo. But when I was researching that, I realized that there's a lot more out there. Now, let me show you what exactly that we have. There's actually 4 or 5 sites that are just really good. Now, the first one is Linspot. This is an open source development that
we've demoed this on the show before.
Yeah, it's a little buggy. It's not 100% ready for. It's not going gold yet.
Right, but it only runs on OS 10, which is kind of a drawback.
Right.
But any client can still connect
any
to it.
client can. Doesn't matter Windows, PC, Linux, whatever.
But it's something that's out there and people should check out, especially if they're Mac-based.
Exactly. Okay. But the other one that I have is this one right here. Now, this is called NetShare. This is from Speakeasy.
I've heard of Speakeasy. They're an ISP.
Yeah, get rid of that. Yes, these guys are an ISP, which is really strange because they're an ISP and they're saying right from the start, sell our broadband.
So they want you to sign up for not only their broadband service, but also to resell it at the same time.
Exactly.
So they're like an all-in-one solution if you're going to them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's a couple more that should be on the website, so those are ready to go.
Now, which one did you choose to set? You said Boingo was the one you...
Yeah, I chose Boingo. Boingo 1. I remember we found that, like we were just...
yeah, you found the press release.
Yeah, I found the press release. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Because I didn't even know about Linspot or anything at the time.
And they had partnered with Linksys, which was like a big deal. I mean, Linksys, Cisco, huge providers of Wi-Fi.
So how it works with Boingo, they require you to have a specific router, and it's this
one right here.
It's the WRV54G.
Okay.
Which is a cool little new router.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the blue ones.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a cool thing. Now let me just show you how it works.
Okay, so you're going to go into the admin setup page for the Linksys, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in. I should have been there already, but here we go.
Take your time, Dan. It's live TV.
Shut up, Kevin. Okay, so I'm going to put in my strong passwords, admin.
All right.
And as it goes in, here we go. So we're in the very familiar Linksys setup page.
We all know this page.
And you'll notice when you look in, this has a special little spot over here on the right. Here on the right. See, it says hotspot. So this is built in right for Boingo.
Okay, cool.
So you go in, you check it out. And this is where it looks a little different when you first log in because you need to set up the account.
Right.
I think it's $21.95 a month on top of your broadband fees. So if you're paying $30 for such and such service,
above and beyond.
Above and beyond.
Regardless of even if you don't sell any, you're still going to pay $21.95. So it can be dangerous there, depending on how popular of area you're in.
Exactly. If nobody's coming to it, then you're wasting money.
Losing money. Okay.
Absolutely.
So show me the admin configuration page. Like let's dig into this and find out how you actually go in here.
Cool. Let me go into that right now as it populates. Oh.
So this is the Boingo website, right?
Yeah.
So this can be administered from anywhere, which is kind of cool. It looks like, right? Yeah, that's not it. You've left the router now.
I've left the router, but what's strange is it becomes its own like Linksys router page almost. It has almost the same functionality of it.
So it talks directly with the router, then it's going back and forth all the time.
Precisely. So what you do is you click on Edit Current Configuration here, and you'll notice once it populates here, you have all these different options. Like so, right here you can change the channel.
Right.
Here's DHCP. You can modify that to whatever you want.
Put in the location information.
Exactly. Where's some cool stuff? Where is it? Here we go. So list and location of directories. So this on the website, you can go to the website and view registered open WAPs that you can go in, log in, and pay to get in.
So you put in like your area code or zip code and it'll tell you what's available around.
Exactly.
Now, what if you're an end user connecting to this hotspot? Let's say that I have a laptop right here and I want to connect. What is it going to look like as far as that goes?
Okay, so when you first log in, what you have is...
You connect just like you would anything else, like say your Ward drive.
Yeah,
right?
Windows will say, hey, wireless network available. And so when you try to connect and bring up a browser page...
I don't think we have scan for some reason. Did something get unplugged down here?
Here we go.
You got it?
Maybe now?
Nothing yet. So explain to us as we're doing this how it's working exactly. So they would see the standard login page.
Okay, so there's a standard login page.
You can't just surf right away.
No, you have to either have a username and password or you need to sign up. So for you can sign up for a day, 24-hour service, which is like $8,
$7.95. Okay.
And then you can also do a monthly fee if you're a big time Boingo user, which is $21.95.
Very cool. So now, once they sign up, and then you get a little percentage of that, you make so many dollars, right? Boingo cuts you a check then, right?
Yeah. Okay. So how it works is, let's say you're your own wireless ISP, right? So if someone tries to connect, he decides to do just the $8 version, the one-day version. You get $4 out of that.
I see. Okay, so you get a little percentage.
You get 50% pretty much.
That's cool. We've run out of time, so we got to go. But more information. We have all this stuff and all the links you put in the article, right?
Yeah, it's all in the article, ready to go.
Very cool. So if you want to sell your Wi-Fi, all in the show notes at thescreensavers.com. Some great information. Thanks, Dan, for being on the show. That was awesome. Now here is Sarah with the download of the day.
That's right. I have Roger, Notorious ROG, and for this one because they turned me on to a free P2P network, open source even, that pulls from 4 different networks has no pop-ups, no spyware, and is totally, completely free. It's called Sheraza, or however you want to say it. So I've got it open here, and it looks very similar to the P2P networks of yesteryear. All right, except if you look down here in the lower left hand, I'm connected to Gnutella 2, which is actually Sheraza's own network, eDonkey, Gnutella, and it also supports BitTorrent. So it's got a lot of stuff going on. It has its own built-in media player, which is pretty cool. Library, search functions, that all works fairly, it's standard stuff. I do search for Beethoven, and I just have an endless amount of choices. What's kind of neat, once you get into the transfer areas, as you can see, downloading a UT 2004 beta demo, and it's showing me some of the progress. If I just click on the plus sign here, I see who's given it to me and what little pieces of them I am taking. Then if I go into the show monitor area down here, I can kind of see, I have kind of a neat graphical representation of what's going on. Here's what I've got so far. I don't have too far to go. I'm number of sources, estimated time, total transfer speed, it's all very clear. It's all very clear to me. Obviously, movies, music, all that stuff. You don't want to do the illegal thing, so you got to just take that from me. There's, of course, that's up to you. That's how Sheraza works, just like P2P networks work. So I'm a fan. Kevin's a fan. We're all fans. And, the more networks, the better, right? So the link to get Sheraza for yourself is actually at my website, saralane.com. Thanks again to Notorious ROG. He's not in the LAN party today. I thought he'd be here today. Coming up after the break, our next caller, Kyle, wants to choose which hard drive he boots from. We're going to tell him how after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Photoshop guru Burt Monroy is back with another amazing tip.
Yay.
And learn how to upgrade your hard drive in your Replay TV. Ooh. Plus, Joshua has his top gaming picks from E3. Wow. That's all in tomorrow's Encore edition of the Screensavers.
Small.
Very small.
Very small. Oh. Kyle joined us on the G4 Tech TV Netcam network from Edmonton, Alberta. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
What's up?
Just wondering how to get my dual boot working.
Very cool. Tell us where we are right now. Are we inside of your room? Where are we?
No, it's actually my mom's office.
Your mom's office. Very cool.
I recently had my own Linux computer, but it basically fried.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So what can we help you out with? You said you had some booting concerns, problems, issues?
What's going on, Kyle?
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it so that I have two hard drives, okay?
Okay.
One has Linux on it and one has Windows on it. I want to be able to, turn on my computer and be able to select...
Roger that, Kyle.
Yeah. Hello?
Keep going.
Sorry. And I want to be able to select which hard drive I want to boot from.
Okay, that makes sense. So tell me what order you installed your operating systems. Did you do Windows last?
Actually, I had to format my Linux hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
So XP first, yes.
Okay, so Windows was first.
Yeah.
All right, and is that on your primary drive or on the secondary, like, slave drive?
It's on my primary.
Okay, so then what version of Linux are you using, by the way, just out of curiosity?
Mendic 10.
Okay, so you should just simply install that Linux distro. It will see those other Windows partitions and ask you...
But it's not a partition. It's a separate physical hard drive.
Right, but it'll still see them on that other drive. It should ask you, what type of bootloader are you using? Did it give you the choice to choose whether between Lilo or Grub?
I'm using Lilo, yeah.
Okay. Does it give you the option to choose Grub?
Not that I've seen yet.
I found Grub. I like Grub a little better as the Grand Unified Bootloader, I believe is what they call it.
Okay.
But that's not to say that Lilo won't work, because it can and will work. But Linux should handle that for you, meaning that it should see that Windows partition, recognize that you've actually installed the OS on that drive, and it'll go in and write that bootloader and then allow you to choose between the two options. Now, if it's not doing that, I don't know exactly what the reason for that would be. I've always had to I've done the exact same thing that you do, Kyle. I like to have my operating systems on two separate drives. I'm not a big fan of this like multi-partitioning on one drive.
Yeah.
It just seems cleaner on two drives. You don't want to have to. So it should handle it for you. If for some reason Mandrake isn't doing that, you can go in manually and add your Windows partition. You're going to have to go in and do a man on Lilo. Man is the command from the terminal that's going to give you the manual for Lilo, or do the man for Grub. and you can find out what the configurations option. You're going to have to go into the config file and specify, add another entry, like in Pico or one of the text editors, add another entry specifying which partition it's to boot from. I know this is really geeky and complicated.
I'm
you're
absorbing, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
So once you do that, you save the file, you reboot, it's going to be able to find the partition, and you'll be able to go right into it. Now, you can also choose, there's a ton of other distros out there that I know I have no problems with. Red Hat's free one, Fedora, and some of the others just work just fine that I've used in the past. Debian, my favorite. But, Kyle, that should help you out. Do a man on those pages and get in there and start doing some hacking yourself.
You know, I just really learned a lot about Windows, Linux, different hard drives. Keep them separate.
That's what this show is all about.
Keep them separate. See? And because Kyle was on a NetCam, he gets a free NetCam. You get a free T-shirt. It's a highly coveted T-shirt. They're not sold in any store.
Very true.
You have to be a NetCam caller.
Stay where you are, because up next we're going to check your inbox to see what's on your mind.
Or our inbox.
Our inbox. We're going to go into your inbox.
And we're going to read your email when the screensavers continue. Take a look at the high scores from each round of our LAN party powered by NVIDIA today.
Anybody from our team? No, nobody.
Disaster Strike, Mr. Gray, Krungus, TWB. What is that?
It was a sign. The sign fell, and, you know, it...
Yeah, you know, Joel told me, Joel, who I was talking to earlier, that it beamed him right in the head.
Yeah.
Kind of hurt.
Is he all right? You okay?
It's a heavy sign.
Fine.
He's good.
He's good. He's playing back in the game, yeah. So congrats to you high scorers, whoever you are. If you didn't get to play this week, go to our website right now and register for next Thursday. Get in the game.
Yes, indeed.
150 players.
That's lots.
Well, I don't know if
you have the full version now. Are we doing full version next week, Joshua? Oh, Star Wars Galaxies next week.
Changing it up.
Awesome.
Yeah. Before we go, folks, Euphoria is coming. It's the award show for gamers. It's coming August 6th, and it kicks off with a half-hour pre-show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So don't forget to cast your vote for your favorite games at g4techtv.com/G-Phoria. G-Phoria is presented by EV Games and Jeep. Stay tuned for that. For us, it's time for an email.
Yes, it is. Let's go through some emails.
Okay.
This one from David. He said, I saw your segment on the Kismac, and I was wondering if there's a program for Windows that allows you to do the same. Oh, yeah, and Yoshi rules. So, Yoshi, you rule.
Yoshi rules.
Kismac is actually, it's kind of funny because that was converted from a program that was called Kismet that runs on Linux and Unix. So you can get Knoppix STD that has it built right in. You can run that, and you'll be good to go.
So good news for David.
Yep, and it boots right from the CD, so not a whole lot of worrying about installing Linux or anything like that.
Easy as pie. That's it for this edition of The Screensavers. I'm Sarah Lane.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, Steve Pope.
Thanks,
See you
Steve.
next time, and have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Coming up next, Players, followed by Sweat at 8:30 in the Electric